If you think you don't like pork chops, I think you might just be cooking them wrong. Pork chops deserve to be cooked like a delicious steak. These are some fantastic looking bone-in pork chops with an amazing fat cap. About 30 minutes ago, I dried them off super well and sprinkled a good amount of salt on them. I'm using Diamond Crystal kosher salt here. The salt is probably less salty than if you're using like a Morton's or a regular table salt. So maybe use less of a heavy hand if you're using one of those two salts. And then I stuck this in the fridge uncovered and let it sit for 30 minutes. This allowed the salt to fully absorb into the pork chop and be very deliciously seasoned. Over at the stove, I have a very large cast iron heating up over a medium-high heat. Because I have such a large fat cap, I'm going to actually use that to my advantage and put no oil in the pan and put my fat cap directly down over the heat and let some of that fat render out. So I'm gonna flip these onto one side. Then cook them for 2 minutes on one side. I want to form a really good crust on the outside. Now that these look like this on one side, I'm gonna give them a flip and let them cook for another 1.5 to 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, I'm gonna give it another flip. And it is at this time when I'm gonna wanna pull out my meat thermometer and start temp checking my pork chops. I'm aiming to pull these at around 135 degrees because they're gonna carry over cook and eventually reach 145 degrees. Now, before you go to the comments and type out that I'm wrong and pork chops actually have to be a higher temperature than 145 degrees, Google it. Pork chops are safe to eat at 145 degrees. They're actually more delicious that way. I'm about 20 degrees before I want to pull these, so I'm going to give them another flip, add in a little pat of butter. I'm also throwing in a sprig of rosemary. I'm also going to turn the heat off because I'm cooking in a cast iron pan, which holds a lot of heat for a long time, so I don't really need the heat from the stove anymore. Pull them off once they reach 135. These are going to rest for 10 minutes while I turn this into a little bit more of a sauce. Oh my God. I mean, the thing about cooking them like a steak, it creates this delicious crust on the outside. On the inside, you get this slight, delicate little pink. It's still super tender. It's nice and salty because you seasoned it ahead of time. Your world will be opened up to a whole new realm of pork chop possibilities. Top it with a little bit of that buttery pan sauce, some chives. You can't tell me that you wouldn't pay $45 for this out at a restaurant. I would. Treat your pork chop like a steak. You should make this.